During the flow, it is April 24th. It's a Friday, the first day of Ramadan. And here we are in our space of gratitude and appreciation. Sometimes you get an itch, and that's okay. How you doing? Where are you watching from? Welcome to everybody who's coming into the space and joining us on Facebook. I see you over on YouTube, Periscope, and also lovecityarts.org. Thank you for gathering. Like I said, it's just a space for gratitude and appreciation. Tonight's going to be a bit of a short one, a little shorter than usual because I'm a bit tired. For those of you who don't know me well, I'm a bit of an insomniac. I'm not even sure that's the right term for it, but I go for days on end without sleeping. It's not the best thing. I mean, I don't feel bad about it when it's happening, but the crash and burn at the end is awful. So I think this is my third day awake. So I just need to get off of here, shower. As you can see, today is a shower day for sure. I'll shower and I will lay down and I will let something soothing just take me in the dream state far, far away from here. I'm tired. I'm really tired. The good news is that and I wouldn't recommend this, but the good news is that a lot of the project work that I've been kind of stalling on and needed to kind of catch up on, that all got done between 4 and 8 o'clock this morning. And then by the time the sun was up and I had a reading to go and attend, I'm with a buddy of mine, a new buddy. And so by the time we ended up just engaging in life today, another day had kind of, flourished and happened, but I didn't take the nap I was supposed to take, and I didn't go to sleep. So I have to go to sleep tonight, no matter what. Anyway, what will help me facilitate this, my eyes are on fire because my antihistamines ran out last night, and my eyes are burning. Oh, you know what? That's the word. I said my eyes are burning in this gratitude healing space, and the card that jumped out of the deck when I said my eyes are burning, the card that jumped out was acceptance. Oh man, you can't make this shit up. Okay, so the card for tonight is acceptance. It could be the fact that I need to accept the fact that I need to go to bed, and maybe I need to accept the fact that I'm tired. Maybe there's a lot of things I need to accept, but let's see what the book says. Yeah, this is gonna be a short one. I'm so tired tonight. Day 42, though. Day 42. We've made it. Acceptance. Let the mist of unworthiness evaporate. Wow. Sometimes these cards just pack a punch. Let the mist of unworthiness evaporate. Move forward and embrace life as it presents itself to you. Practice the art of inclusion and allowing. Wow. I think that may be part of the reason why I don't sleep for days is because I don't really allow myself to come down. It's like bopping from one project to the next one, or one little thing to tie up, and then a solution always brings 10 more problems, and then you put out those problems, and then those solutions bring more problems. That's just how life goes, right? Every solution that we find has some kind of consequence. You got something even my sink that has a filter on it, I gotta replace that. So even though it's improving my condition, it's also creating another problem. I gotta go and find filters when the time comes. If I do that on loop and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing and it doesn't feel bad, and I'm kind of pseudo rested because I haven't had to leave the house in 42 days. That's how. Well, this happens also when I was working at my day job. I could just stay up for 3 days on end, just off the adrenaline alone. I don't think that's good though. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to accept it. Let the mist of unworthiness evaporate. Move forward and embrace life as it presents itself to you. Practice the art of inclusion and allowing. And speaking of allowing, my friends, we're just going to allow love to be present with us right now in this moment. And I'm going to really do my best to not fall asleep. Oh, man. We hold space tonight, as we do every night, for those who are in pain and those who may be suffering. We gather here just to remember them, knowing that we can't physically do everything for everybody, and we can't shield every stranger, and we can't protect everyone who's in pain. We can't protect everyone from suffering, but we hold hope in our heart for brighter days when the suffering ceases. When the suffering ceases. We hold space for those days and for those moments. So yeah, there's no fireworks here. There's no trampolines, there's no lions, there's no tigers, there's no bears. It's just tired me as I present tonight, holding space with lovable you. Lovable you, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Speaking of love, you being lovable you and me being lovable me, I got another present today. I finally figured out who it was from, but it came from California. It was a little trick. Like, it came to me, but it came from California. Look at that. And it's see-through grant spaces because of the green dots. Isn't that the coolest? It's even wackier because you can see through it because of the green dots. I think that's so exciting. Thank you, Renee, again. Like, big shout out, big props to my sister in the spirit, my sister in life. This thing is really, really... She's pretty jazzy. She said she picked this one out specially just for me. Thank you, Renee. So yeah, there's just so much to be grateful for. I refuse to be down all the time. I'll take my time as I need it. An hour, 2, 3, 4, however much time I need. I'll take the time I need in order to be sad and disappointed and angry. There's space for that as well within me. There's definitely enough space in God, whatever you believe that to be. Whatever your higher power is, there's space in the universe for both our rejoicing and our weeping, our beauty and our terror, our security and our pain. There's enough space in love for that. There's enough space in God for that. There's enough space in the universe for that. There's enough space in the higher power for that. And I know this may sound woo-woo or it may sound wild, but whatever you're reaching for, and like I said, I'm tired. I'm really tired. But I just feel a sudden urge just to tell people who are, going to check this out now and also later in replays. Listen to me. What you're looking for, like what you're reaching for, is reaching back to you. You're like, okay, that's BS because we're all stuck in the house. I'm telling you. What you're reaching for is reaching back for you. And this is not. I'm telling you, I should have taken my antihistamine. It's just, I just itch all over. Oh, man. Oops. But back to the point. What you are looking for is looking for you. Just as you are. Lovable you. You don't have to change so much about you. You don't have to degrade anything about you. You like just as you are enough. And whatever positive circumstances and circumstances free of suffering that you are seeking, it is equally reaching back towards you. And even if you don't believe it, I want to encourage you to be open to it. Just be open to the possibility that there could be peace in your situation. Be open to the possibility that somehow this is going to work out. I know, sounds Pollyanna. He's back on his positivity shit again. This isn't even about me. This is about you and me and our capacity to actually kind of shape. You know, they say when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so I'm trying to like constantly challenge. I had a great conversation with my really, really dear friend, Brian, today. And just sometimes stepping to the left 2 paces, like just 2 step. Sometimes just doing that can change your entire vantage point. The angle through which you see your circumstance. Just stepping 2 places to the. They said that if a car accident happens at an intersection and there's 16 people out there, they'll all give 16 different accounts of what happened because of where they were when they witnessed that accident. Because what you believed you saw is more powerful than what actually happened if you're getting all those different stories. Anyway, all of that to illustrate that I need to be working on focusing my attention on the things that I want in my life beyond coronavirus. And the more I can be grateful and focus my attention on those things, like I said, not ignoring what's happening. What's happening is, I mean, frankly, it sucks. I would use other language if I didn't think it would put people off. I don't know why I'm holding back. And maybe it's because I'm tired. But whatever the case, these are just unprecedented times. And so the more gentle that I can be with myself, the more space I can give myself, the better. The better. Oh, we have a comment tonight. Let's see here. Oh, CJ. I love CJ dearly. Hey. Love is in the air, he says. Love to all across the globe. I love it when you come in here like that. Use this time to reflect and focus on what you truly want out of life moving forward, because you can have it. Just reach hard for it. Brother. I haven't even unpacked on here yet all that I was experiencing over the last 5 to 7 years internally as related to my artistry. And there's just lots of barriers in the way for even a situation like this to happen, where I would just jump on and just kind of just talk from my heart and trust myself to be able to talk from my heart, which is a big deal. For those of CJ's an artist as well, an awesome artist. And so he knows what it's like to be vulnerable, as we all know what it's like to be vulnerable in front of people. But, it wasn't until I realized that I could just kind of show up as me Which I know, I know it sounds bizarre given what I do. The spaces both on stage and off stage that I move in. It's like, you would think that like I was like a confident person. And I am. I do have those moments, but not all the time. And all it takes is for one of those not all the time moments to happen, and then you get swept away. But, 42 days is teaching me that, like, a lot of the ways in which I've been talking to myself and believing thoughts about myself, the way that I've been degrading and, kind of singing anything, Mary had a little lamb, and then going, ugh. That kind of habitual behavior was starting to catch up with me. I was actually becoming broken because I couldn't just sing Mary Had a Little Lamb and whatever the fuck I just did or not and still be okay. Still be enough. Still be lovable. Still love myself to show back again and again to the microphone. And dispense love in the way that only I can, because I'm the only me. In the same way that you have creative gifts, amazing creative gifts. Everything about my life mission is dedicated to seeing all of our gifts just come out. I don't want any of us to leave this earth with juice still inside us. CJ says, being unapologetically you and believing that you're truly enough regardless. Yes. And not like CJ, not a like I'm enough regardless. None of it's not even that place. It's just kind of like listen, I came here through the parents that I was given. I've survived. I was loved there, and I survived situations throughout my life. And now I've just come to this place where I'm realizing that the bat that I've held over myself, the bat that I've used to beat myself down metaphorically, the parts of myself that I did not love for the last 7 to 10 years, it's okay to like let all of that go, and it's okay to just love yourself. The only you. And I know that I've been on this internet for years now talking about this feeling. For years. And maybe the reason why, it's, see, I hold space for that. I don't mind that. Maybe the reason why it's resonating differently is because of the times we're living in, but maybe the reason why it's resonating also is because finally I'm actually arriving up to the inspirational quotes. It's like it's beyond just sharing an inspirational quote, like it's a lifestyle. It's just like I know that when I think this way about myself, I suffer. And when I decide to believe in myself and believe myself capable and believe myself enough, I just feel lighter in my body temple, like just a breath away. Just a breath away. So anyway, some people will interpret this as woo-woo. Some other people will interpret this as just what it is. I'm a guy, 36 years old, hanging out in what was, I don't know, I didn't watch the news today. I guess it used to be, or it still is, the epicenter of coronavirus for the East Coast. I'm just here being grateful with you. The very best that I can. And it feels good. Even though I'm tired in my body and my spirit, I feel like I've come alive. So I thank you all for being here and as cheesy as it sounds, like they say in yoga class, just showing up for yourself and giving yourself the space for the next 30 seconds to just drop down into that space within you that's sacred. And just sit there for a second. It's okay. Just breathe. And in this space, there's nowhere to be. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to accomplish. There are no wrongs of the past. There's no ledger of misgivings and wrongdoings. We're just right here. We're just right here. Nothing fancy, nothing schmancy. Just here. What is it? 9:03 p.m. Eastern on Friday the 24th. Today was my last paycheck. They cashed me outside. It feels, I'm so grateful that happened. But yeah, today was the last paycheck from that space. How do we recognize that the calendar on the wall says it's the 24th, and they've said this is the last day we're going to dispense you funds for your employment here. Go with God. And then how do you contain the knowledge that this is this finite pile of fiat currency, and then the universe is going to make room for more opportunity and more employment. And the one thing that I'm holding space for, if I may be so bold in front of all of you in the universe, I'm holding space in my next endeavors to be in spaces constantly. And this is not for my ego's sake, but I need y'all to hear my heart. Spaces where I am celebrated and not just tolerated. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? On the other side of coronavirus, I want to be this experience that we're all sharing in and that we hope to emerge from. On the other side of it, I want to call into myself and put myself in spaces where I'm with people who are celebrating me and not tolerating me. And this isn't about my interpersonal space. Like, I love my friends. Like, I got friends all over the world that are like freaking fantastic. Like people on cruise ships right now who really should be staying really, really healthy for themselves, reaching out to me to see if I'm okay. Like the friend department is like fantastic. Anyway, this is what it's like when I'm tired. So I will see you all. Does anybody have any other comments? I'm just going to turn the music up for a second. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. Ooh. I feel that sometimes we have to sigh and smile at the same time. The sun can still shine on a rainy day. Yes. Thank you for calling me back in. I just completely lost my whole damn train of thought and was just kind of like, let me tell you something. Rules after coronavirus is that if I lose a train of thought, I just lost a train of thought. Like, it wasn't meant to be said in that present moment. So yeah, CJ Baby Reed Jr. I feel that sometimes we have to sigh and smile at the same time. The sun can still shine on a rainy day. And then you probably laugh at the fact that I like completely just like left the planet for about 15 seconds. And I'm just giving myself the space to do that. Like, why not? Why not be, like I said, I'm pretty much saying the same shit every night. It's been 42 days. I've been saying the same thing. Like, let's be grateful for the blessings that we do have in the face of incredible tragedy and loss. Let's still like find a space of gratitude for the abundance that's all around us. I picked up antihistamines today from the drugstore. That's a blessing. Like, my eyes would be watery. I'd be sneezing everywhere. People would think I was, having another type of medical situation. I mean, but I just went over there with my new mask. Where's my new mask? Oh, yeah. I went over there with my new mask and got antihistamines. I mean, I'm not saying this to be like a snooty privileged bitch. I'm saying like that's a blessing. Clean water in my home, the capacity to remove gray water and wastewater from my home. Profound blessings. Just indoor plumbing alone is the jackpot for so many people all over the world. I'm not trying to minimize what you're going through. Yes, this is a really, really sucky situation. And there's something to be grateful for. And so anyway, that's why I gather here. I mean, I lost about 30 seconds to a minute just staring off into space tonight because I may or may not have been completely on the planet. And that's okay too, because I'm still lovable and you're still lovable. No matter how we show up. And so as long as we keep that in the front of us as we move forward over how many days we have left. I mean, I guess this is coming true. Remember back on like day 2 or 3, if you look back in the back tapes, because all of these are like on the internet. Like, I hope I get a job after this. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. I love you too, CJ. And I love you to the moon and back as well. Yeah, no fear, man. No fear. Love, power, and a sound mind. I say the same stuff every night because it's just the drum that I'm sitting here beating. Love, power, sound mind. Love, power, sound mind. You should hear me, and like I'm not anybody's guru or anything like that, but you should hear me in the kitchen when I start getting into like a negative thought pattern. I'm not taught myself. Who the fuck am I kidding? I've learned through many teachers just to be like, ooh, that thought right now is not really going to serve me. That shame and guilt about not having worked out as much as I used to before. I mean, when I could go to the gym, or the fact that like those 2 iced honey buns from, what's the people with the Krispy Kremes? Krispy Kreme. Listen to me. Krispy Kreme honey buns, white iced honey buns were just calling to me. And even in the market, I was like, you fat ass, you already are eating everything in the house. And then all of a sudden I just incline the mind, reclaiming my time. And Nina can attest to this because Nina was on the phone with me. She walked with me. Well, she was doing her errands too, so she walked to her store and I walked to my store, 2 different boroughs, and she can attest to this. I had about 5 to 7 seconds of intense guilt and frustration about how my tent is enlarging because I love sweet things. I love sweet things, especially when I'm tap dancing on planets. This is just a human life, like a beautifully lived human life. No harm. I saw the Krispy Kremes. Phil understands what the fuck I'm talking about. Right, it's a Krispy Kreme white iced honey bun. When I pass the moon and hit Mars in a little bit, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. And I had guilt in the store about getting it. And I'm not, advocating for like not taking care of your body temple and destroying your body temple, stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, there are times in your life where you're going to want to have like the honey bun. Just go on and have the honey bun. And don't bring all of the suffering into that space. I'm just going to eat the confection. And hopefully enjoy it, as I know I will. And then commit myself to being more active tomorrow. Everyone say it with me. I am doing the best that I can. Well, someone would say, well, like, what does a honey bun have to do with your personal best? That doesn't sound like a personal best to me. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a personal best to you because it's not your personal best. It's my personal best. If everybody focuses on doing their personal best, just with your domain, you've been given a certain level of real estate or certain space of real estate. Yes. Treat yourself or cheat yourself. Yes, Lord. Yes, Phil. Yeah, life, like I said, I'm not advocating for recklessness. I'm just saying, like, don't eat the cake and beat yourself up about it. I think, yeah, that's just a theme. Like, that's always going to be a theme here at the Gut Report. Like, love yourself, do the best you can, and then just put the bat down, man. Put the bat down. Put the bat down. You don't need that in this space. Not here. Not in the midst of coronavirus. You don't need the bat. The feather, you can have the feather. You can trade the feather for the bat. Give me the bat. Give me the bat. Give me the bat. Give me the bat. You could stop beating yourself down now. Just give me the bat. Give me the bat. And I'll give you a feather. You can go to town on yourself with this feather. Of course, that's a riddle, Just try to, like, my thing is like I said, I don't have this thing figured out. I told you today is my last paycheck. So I'm as transparent as I can be right now. But if every day I'm just doing the best that I can and I'm reaching for the things that are reaching back for me and all of these other things that we talk about that we believe to be true, if all of that comes into focus, I'm going to be living, guess what? The same blessed life that I'm living right now. Breath in my body, food on my table, clothes on my body, soap in the shower. And a resolve in my heart and in my language and in my pen and in my energy and in my voice on phone calls to advocate for all of us to have a space in the abundance. And here I go on a tangent again, because here's where I start talking about the fact that we're sitting on top of all of this goodness. We're sitting on top of all of this goodness and mercy. I say that acknowledging the depths, but we're sitting on top of all of this plenty and we're just not sharing yet. We're not loving our neighbor as ourselves. This guy looked me right in the face tonight at the pharmacy. Knew he cut me in line, looked me right in my face. I don't know if he smirked about it or not because he was covered in a mask, but he just turned around like he knew he cut me in that line and he just wanted to feel like someone today. That kind of energy, man. I mean, that's none of my business. Like, for real, like, none of my business. But that can't feel good. And I'm not trying to jump over into his narrative, but like that just can't feel good. I want to feel good. And for those of you who have been along this path for the last 42 days, literally 42 days, every night at 8:30 around about. Tomorrow night I might be in earlier because I've got another reunion with my high school graduating class who I love dearly. And I know that's odd because a lot of us got out of high school and then never looked back, but I love these people so much. And so we're going to have a rendezvous tomorrow. No, but it's later in the night, so I'll still be here at 8:30 tomorrow. Anyway, how can I button this up? I'll button this up by saying something that I know to be true. There is a gift in you. Period. And to take it further, there is a gift in you that only you can give to the world. Maybe now isn't the time. But when your time comes, and as you continue to just learn the lessons you need to learn and be pushed and pulled by the great magnet towards and away from the things that are solely for you, you're going to start rendezvousing with conversations, people, and events that support the gift that is you and the gift that is in you. And none of that changed when coronavirus came to town. You were always gifted. You were always sitting on top of something that you just wanted to do. And I'm not talking about like lofty things. I'm not talking about Tony Awards or, whatever else the musical theater people like. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the thing that makes you come alive, the thing that makes you happy, the thing that makes your tail wag. Like, how can you cultivate more of that into your life and then get about the business of figuring out, oh, this is what makes me happy, like personally. And I'm not going to get into like my shit because y'all ain't come for that. But like part of my crunch and part of what makes me happy is seeing other people step into their gifts. Because I want to step more into mine. And I know what it feels like to be kind of like, to know nothing about a business or to know nothing about a space and to be like extremely afraid. I stood in musical theater audition spaces and got laughed at by everyone in the room because, wait, you went to school for sociology and sacred music and you're in this call? Why would you? I mean, and we're friends now, that choreographer and I, but like read me in front of had all of our resumes and our headshots down and just was like, how dare you be here? Like, why are you here, essentially? And I still booked that show and went on to do the same great work that she did. There's no, in spaces, like we've shared those spaces. And so like, don't sleep on your gifts. That's all I got to say. Anne says you've been helping me step into mindset and I won't stop. It's part of the grand design. I think that there are, like puzzle pieces. It's like we need each other to complete the picture. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but like there's gifts that I have that are uniquely mine that are, I don't want to say at deficit, but just like at different quantities in you and vice versa. And unless we start collaborating and sharing and kind of like maintaining these types of spaces, we're going to like think that we're just worthless. You gotta hold space for what you know to be true in your heart. And what you know to be true in your heart is love. That's the religion in this space, just love. And so we open ourselves to a love right now that is all encompassing. This is the last thing we're going to do. We open ourselves right now to a love that is just overtaking us in this space. And it fills us up in such a way that there just is no lack. We don't even know what it feels like. We don't even know what it feels like to be separate. Separate is what I wanted to say. We don't even know what it feels like to be separate from the divine. Just everything that we experience is God. Laughter of a kid, color of the light, color of the plants, flowers in bloom. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I got my medicines. But the flowers in bloom, they're beautiful. They're going to like choke me out, but they're beautiful. And so all of these wonderful things, and we choose the one thing to fixate on. And I'm talking about points of attention. It's like I took a shit and flushed the toilet and had toilet paper. Happy Earth Week, says Anne. And I flushed the toilet I flushed the toilet. That happened for me today. I gotta just count that. I gotta count that on the list of what makes the day beautiful. Holding space for everything. Phil says, parable of the talents. Some of us have buried our gifts so deep that we forgot about them, but keep on digging. Yeah, brother. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, I'm not sure that I've talked about this before on here, but you know, it was a revelation at around day 27 or 28 when I was singing in my cell phone. I think I've talked about this, Phil, when you were in the space, but I was singing on my cell phone, kind of sending my answers. Yes, Phil. I was like recording like one of my voice memos of like singing a vocal to Brian, and Brian usually sends a vocal back. And you know, Ann knows Brian Sanders. He's like a LCA guy and a long time friend. And so, you know, we're sending vocals back, and I'm listening to these vocals. I'm like, oh my God, like I really like my voice when I'm singing in here with Brian. Like, why is that when I record these voice memos for Brian, or for other friends, I like sound great to me, but when I'm singing on a stage somewhere or in an audition space, I never sound good to me. And Spirit very clearly, as clear as a bell, on like day 27, 28, something like that, was like, oh, you allow yourself to love your instrument and love yourself in the presence of Brian. Like Brian never clown. Like we clown each other for bum notes. We praise each other for good notes. We sing off key. It was like, you know, we sing on delay. Like it's just a wonderful thing. And like, but there's no judgment in that space. And what's been happening over the years, I've been judging myself more harshly than Brian judges me, or how I judge myself when I'm in the presence of Brian. Anyway, all that to say, to have the revelation and the wake up that you don't even like your own instrument, and that's what you do professionally, is some crazy. Yeah, it really is. It really is wild. It's really, really wild. To have the realization that, like, even though you have been performing and passing it off, you've not really enjoyed yourself in the work. And so kind of allowing myself to kind of fall back in love with my creativity has been another gift of this time, you know? just geeking out, setting up this, equipment and getting on here and kind of holding space with whoever comes through and wants to sit with Little Miss Muffet on a tuffet of gratitude. And those people who know me well know that I'm not grateful all the time. I can be a curmudgeon, fussy old man. But at the heart of it all is a pointing towards, wow, I'm really, really grateful for everything that I have and everyone in my life. Especially people like Pam. Hey, Pam. Fall back in love with my creativity. Yeah, you gotta, I don't know. I think a lot about, and I have some interviews coming up for like some podcasts and things. And I'm trying not to pre-position anything that I talk about because that's not fresh and that just takes me out of the present moment, and that can bring anxiety about the future to come and depression about how, it just brings a lot of stuff up. And so, but one thing I do want to hone in on is the fact that I want us to always remember the child version of ourselves, that always, I love you too, Pam, that always loved singing in a hairbrush. You know what I mean? Like that kid that, I think I've talked about this before with all of you. My mom is a phenomenal seamstress, and she used to hem pants and things. And I would take the loops at the bottom of the pants and put them on my wrist so I could pretend that they were swaying back and forth like the robes of a choir director. And then eventually I became a child choir director with the robes and everything like that. Not a flex, just saying that that kid dreamed, was not afraid to ask other adults for what I wanted. I just believed that what I wanted was coming from a good place. There's no reason why I couldn't have it. Same thing with the Father above. Same thing with Spirit. You're a good person. You're not harming anybody. You're not robbing any banks. You're not hurting nobody. You're a good person. Why wouldn't the divine reward you with the desires of your heart? So bearing that in mind, I'm kind of wanting to just cultivate this space within me where I just believe in the same ways that 6, 7, 8-year-old Andre would. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be a computer scientist. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to geek out one day the way that I geek out now. It was all, and like I said, 0% flex. I could give a fuck about flex. This is all about heart to heart in this space. This well that we come to every night, this is about what's real. So I'm not talking about a flex. I'm talking about coming to this place where it's oh, I've always felt alive when doing this. People like Pam and her husband they've been doing their show every night, and there's just laughter in their space. Even when you scroll by it and you just coming through for a little bit, there's just laughter in that space. That's a gift to be able to compel people into laughter, to make light the heart. That's a gift. You can't just let those things, and I'm not talking about financial benefit. I'm talking about what makes your heart happy. And in the midst of coronavirus, isn't that what I'll speak for myself. I've discovered that I just want to be happy. And I'm not saying that because I'm not happy. I'm just saying that we know the things that can take us off the mark of happy. The squirrel moments where it's everything's going great, and then I stub my toe. Everything's going great, and then she texts me in that tone of voice. Why did she use all of those capital letters? She didn't have to do that. And then before we know it, we're off in the bushes. It's me and my mother, man. It's me and my mother. The ultimate misconnection. Like back in the day, we had misconnections in a different context, so that's a little weird. But y'all know what I'm saying. Like it's just it just ebbs and flows and it pushes and pulls. But you know, all of that to say, like life's not perfect, but in the words of one of my dear Buddhist teachers, it's good enough. It's good enough. Pam says, yes, the people that join us make us happy. If we didn't do it, I would crash. Yeah, we there's this code built into each other where like I need to be with you and you need to be with me, and we can fight it all we want to. And like, that's what's so funny about my work and creativity. I'm on a mission to try to convince artists that we don't have to like fight each other to be happy. Like I'm trying to model and also create a platform where we don't have to go to the gladiator games to write our scripts and to sing our songs and dance our dances. We don't have to ever show up to a creative space with a feeling of inferiority ever again, because we can agree that everyone in that space is just, you weren't inferior when you got here. Now let's dance. You were not less than or unworthy when you came in here to sing these notes. Oh, you warmed up on the way in here? You warmed up worthy. Okay, now let's sing. You know, we don't have these spaces. I'm going to create it though. In community and with all of my friends, my cool friends, we're going to create a space where we're creating art and yummy spaces that's the equivalent of us singing in our hairbrush before we learned to care. We learned to care. We all have pictures of childhood us just free as a bird. Some of them naked pictures. We just didn't care about the size of our, small breasts, big penis, small penis, grower, short. We didn't care about any of that stuff. We just wanted to express and be free. I hope that if for no other reason, coronavirus shakes the dust off of me and just reminds me that I never wanted to be Beyonce. I just wanted to be with my people who were sending me love and I was sending it back to them. I didn't need great. I need y'all to hear me what I'm saying. I didn't need great. Great's going to happen. There are going to be great moments. You're going to have incredible highs. But right now, I'm just rocking with good enough. It's lentils. Lentils are good enough, and let me be very clear, because I get on here and then I get hyperbolic and then, I'm not painting a picture of despair for my life. I'm just saying that there's a balance and flow to this, and I want to move with it instead of against it. And because, back to the point, I believe that there's a gift within myself and a gift within all of you, we owe it to ourselves to just, when the time is right, to just step into it. I'm not going to live the next 36 years of my life in pain. I don't want to do it like that. I just don't want to do it like that. Pam says, tonight, Scott and I did each other's makeup to make people laugh. I can't wait to watch it back in replay. That's hilarious. A little gender bender. Kim is saying amen. It must have been when I was going off about the community that I'm hoping we can do it. Recently, every conversation that I've been engaging with artists about coming together, and well, not every conversation. There's some awesome things in the work, but a bunch of them, they all lead back to money. Even these versus matches that the R&B singers are doing, it's all starting to get weird because there's money. Our needs will be supplied somehow. I don't know what rabbit's going to come out of the hat for this crazy situation, but our needs will be supplied. In the meantime, please, 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 please cultivate your joy, your own joy. That thing that I know that we crave community, and we're having it here, and you can call a friend or FaceTime a friend, things like that. That's going to kind of get us through, but make sure that you are just tending, tending. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work these last 42 days. Let's see what the rest of the comments say. Say it again. Anne says, I never wanted to be Beyonce. I just wanted to be with people who send me love. That's it. And then she ate lentils. She ate lentils in that as well. Yeah, lentils are. I've learned that if you throw like whole garlic in there as they're cooking the whole time, it just really infuses the dish with like a really garlicky kind of wonder. I'm a foodie, which is the reason. Well, nope, not gonna do it. See, I caught my negative thought. I deeply and profoundly love and approve of myself. Phil said that someone say penis. Yeah, I mean, we're just obsessed about all of the wild thing. You know, like if that's your thing and you're not causing harm, then seek that as well. I'm talking about big penis. If that's your thing, then seek that as well. If it's not your thing, don't seek it. But let's not chase these ideals of perfection that aren't necessarily rooted in what would actually make us happy. Like personally, that won't make me happy. I'm just trying to like talk with somebody that like understands my spiritual path and how I'm not trying to allow dick to like get me out here like distracted, you know? And I need to have a guy romantically in my life that's able to have both like the profane and profound conversations. It's coming. I told y'all earlier tonight, like whatever I'm reaching for is reaching back for me. So he's coming. Ain't a big deal there. It's just that like I don't want to be so focused on the penis that I'm not focused on the promise. Ah, shit. I knocked myself out. The music had to stop and everything. Don't be so focused on the penis, Phil, that you forget about the promise. Okay, that's my cue. Know that I love you so very much. It's the only reason why I show up. Well, it's not the only reason why I show up. I show up because something deep in my heart said, go and sit on the tuffet every night at 8:30 and just be there. I never come with an agenda. I mean, maybe if you look back at the first like one or two of them, I was like trying to do something, but it became very, very clear to me like day 6 or 7, and Pam was around for all of that. Like I just like threw out the entire like program and just said, I'm just going to sit here on this rock. And it's not a rock. It's a really nice leather couch. Not a flex, just I'm so grateful. Anyway, I'm sitting here on this rock, and I'm sitting here because I know that somebody's going to come through and sit across from me, and we're going to go, what's up? How you doing? You didn't have a good day? Okay. That's cool. Tell me about your awful day. Oh, rain in your clouds. Nothing worked out today. Oh man, I'm really, really, really sorry. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna sit here and just hold space with you for a moment, and then maybe in a few moments, like we'll just, we'll just share love, and maybe like you can leave a bit of that pain here. Just lay it down, and then just take a little bit of love from this group that's sharing all of this wonderful, yummy energy with you, and just take the love instead. Leave a penny, take a penny. Leave a burden, take some love. Anyway, that's all that's coming up for me tonight. I think that, oh yeah, the honey buns. Oh my God, I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Have a great, great